Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash. No honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Alright, I'm going to play this video, and it is relatively, I guess you could say, kind of a long video for, something to play on a video that you're making yourself. It's 9 minutes, but there's a major point that needs to be proven from this. And this is, what came to the spirit when I thought about this. Okay? I'm going to explain what the topic is and stuff like that after the video is over. So I'm just going to play this.
Adrian Peterson, look at that shot. Goodness. That is a linebacker shot right there.
This isn't the hop step. Adrian Peterson makes a football play and people are yelling medic.
We were talking earlier about the beast in the room when we interviewed that man right there. This man is a beast.
He goes after a tough guy on a tough guy team. Boom. And knocks him out, pancakes him.
My God.
As soon as I turned around, he was there, and I just lowered my shoulder and just gave him the business.
When Adrian Peterson starts running, you can cancel Christmas.
And he shoves away one, shoves away another, and blasts his way on the end zone.
He hits that daylight, and you see that head start bucking. I mean, you can cancel Christmas.
Inside the 40, up the sideline, and he's gone. 296 for the day.
Last Sunday, he set an NFL single-game rushing record with 296 yards on the ground against San Diego.
Boy, this guy's spectacular. Unbelievable vision, acceleration, power, speed, the whole package.
It's a complete package. The complete package.
The middle upended at the 15. And Adrian Peterson is down, and he is writhing in pain right now.
An MRI confirmed he tore both his ACL and his MCL.
This is an injury that is going to affect Adrian Peterson pretty much for the rest of his career.
John, given the injury, we know Adrian Peterson isn't going to be back this season.
This is a ligament that is so frequently injured.
Torn knee, ACL, gone.
Welcome to today's NFL, where the greatest warriors in sports are dropping like flies.
The Vikings need Adrian Peterson, not so much in week 1 of this season, but for years to come.
Not only do I want to come back stronger, but stronger than before.
So what will end up happening is that he'll go into training camp on the physically unable to perform list.
I think the bigger picture for AP is trying to find a way to maybe alter the way you run a little bit.
I don't think we're going to see the same guy that we saw before.
Being the best at your position and what you do to reality, you basically got to start from scratch.
What makes one guy a champion, one person a champion, and the other one not?
It's drive. It's the will.
He is the franchise there in Minnesota. They need him. If I was him, I'd much rather err on the side of coming back later than rushing myself back too soon.
See the feet? See the feet? See the feet? How we feeling?
Adrian has been rehabbing, and he's actually been sprinting and racing against his teammates.
The will and the determination and the hunger that you need to be the best in the world.
What part of you says I'm going to be better because of this injury?
I'm not trying to come back and be Adrian Peterson that they remember. I'm trying to be better.
You never want to fail because he didn't work hard enough.
Every indication that I've gotten from the Vikings is there has not been any setbacks.
He is convinced that he is going to play, and if there is anybody that could come back this soon and play, it's Adrian Peterson.
Don't be afraid to fail. Anything I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail.
I mean, he basically is saying, I'm going to be ready week 1.
Adrian Peterson is not 100%. I don't care what he says. I don't care how many hills he runs up.
He didn't even think he was going to play this week. And I'm not a doctor, but he had a torn ACL, MCL, and that takes a while to come back from.
They were talking, do we play him? Do we not play him because of the knee and the torn knee ligaments and everything else?
I didn't expect as much of him, but I knew that what we were going to see, it was going to be good.
We don't know how many plays he'll get in today, but he will start. But you know he wants to leave his imprint on this game today. This is more than just a ceremonial start for Adrian Peterson.
By week 1 against Jacksonville, that's my goal.
First down and 10, Adrian Peterson, gigantic hole, and through he goes.
He wasn't just out there. He was playing the way he wants to play.
Peterson
got to 1,000, got to 1,100, 1,200, that would be a unique and special year.
Don't listen to the naysayers. I mean, how many times have you heard that you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's never been done before?
Adrian Peterson pops it into the secondary. Peterson at midfield. Foot race now. Adrian Peterson's going to win that race. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Leslie Frazier said after the game that he was glad that Adrian Peterson did such a good job faking that ACL injury. Because, really, that's what it looked like. Yeah, this guy tore up his knee. Think about that. Tore up his knee less than 9 months ago, and he's out there plowing over defenders.
Better than any year that's come before. 8 straight 100-yard games.
One of the best stories of the year, if not the best story of the year.
The man who I consider to be the best running back in the National Football League, Adrian Peterson.
The Vikings sweep the season series versus the Lions. A big day from Adrian Peterson as he had 171 yards and 1 touchdown.
First down, Peterson. There goes Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson is incredible.
Okay, why don't we just stop this mess and give this man the MVP and stop playing?
Opportunity for this guy to have a possibility of breaking Eric Dickerson's record is unbelievable.
If the Minnesota Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers today, they make the playoffs.
Last year on Christmas Eve, Adrian Peterson blows out his ACL, and this is the 1-year anniversary of Adrian Peterson's surgery to repair that.
Does Adrian Peterson break Eric Dickerson's record this week?
Adrian Peterson, he's going for Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record.
Torn knee, ACL, gone.
Carries it out to the 45 for 12 and a first down.
And they have their eyes focused and locked on the postseason.
Gets it again. You just can't bring it down.
I think the bigger picture for AP is trying to find a way to maybe alter the way you run a little bit.
You're talking about the Packers and they're playing for seed.
Lane handoff, Peterson. He makes it look easy.
How incredible would it be if he could break that mark and with it get his team into the playoffs?
He's got 147 to go to be the all-time leader.
He is the franchise there in Minnesota. They need him. If I was him, I'd much rather err on the side of coming back later than rushing myself back too soon.
Look at Adrian Peterson down inside the 15.
I don't think we're going to see the same guy that we saw before.
A 20-yard run, and now he is over 2,000 yards.
And it's not as if they got a competitive football team that they're going to field in 2012.
Here's Peterson. Adrian Peterson.
What part of you says I'm going to be better because of this injury?
I'm not trying to come back and be Adrian Peterson that they remember. I'm trying to be better.
The will and the determination and the hunger that you need to be the best in the world.
It's first and goal for Green Bay. He's caught for the touchdown, Nelson.
I think this is an injury that is going to affect Adrian Peterson pretty much for the rest of his career.
Here's Peterson.
It's the greatest rushing season that the NFL has ever seen.
Peterson down inside the 15-yard line. Adrian Peterson will finish 9 yards shy of the all-time record. Put the Vikings in the playoffs.
A modern player carrying the load against modern defenses and still cranking out 6 yards per carry.
AP most valuable player is Adrian Peterson.
So now, if you don't look at it with the spiritual eye, you're just like, well, it's just a football player. American football players just, got an injury and he came back and won MVP. But if you look at it with the spiritual eye, it's much bigger than that, okay? Because that represents us and this truth, all right? That represents us because every time we sin, every time we go off, every time we make a mistake, every time we're catching hell, it's basically like we got injured, okay? We're down, we're injured. And then and you could hear all the comments that he was getting after them saying that he's not going to be the same. Basically they're saying that he's going to be his career is over. He's not going to run the same way before. He's not going to be as good as before. But what did he do? He came back better. He came back better. And how do we know that? Because when he came back, he almost broke the single season rushing record. He broke, I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know if that was the same year when he broke the single game rushing record, but he won MVP. He tore his ACL and MCL, which is crucial for a running back because that's all his job is, to run the ball, mostly, right? A running back. But he came back better throughout all the doubt, even though he made mistakes, and then he ended up winning MVP. Okay? Every time we go off, every time we make mistakes, every time we sin, every time we catch hell, every time we're being chastised, we need to build ourselves up. We need to trust Yahweh Shema Shai first and foremost, and especially when we sin, when we make a mistake, let's say you forget it's Sabbath, or you accidentally eat pork because you realize it's, some things they hide it, behind ingredients. Like maybe the enzymes in the cheese is from pork, from pigs. Then you seek Yahweh Shema Shai 10 times more, okay? And there's always going to be scoffers. There's always going to be scorners, okay? People saying that, that you ain't shit, or what you do ain't shit, and this and that. Making blasphemous comments and just doubting you, all right? Speaking for myself, I got to have more confidence. I got to have more self-esteem, okay? But we need to understand the major difference and the major line between confidence and pride, okay? Because we have to be humble, we have to be disciplined, but we have to have confidence. We have to have high self-esteem, okay? You can't tell me that when he got injured that he was thinking in his mind, I'm never going to be the same. I'm never going to be able to run the same way again. I'm never going to be able to break records or anything. You can't tell me that that's what he was thinking. He was thinking the opposite. He was thinking that he can come back better, that he can succeed, that he can break records, that he can win MVP. And that's what we need to think. All right, you need to stop letting these demons and these scoffers and scorners tear you down with their comments. Okay, you need to make sure that their comments don't affect you and don't change how you look at things. Okay? And a good example of that is if you see that we're in the end, we're clearly in the end, and you believe that all hell is about to break loose and America's about to be destroyed, and you hear some relative or some old friend or something, well, that's not going to happen in my lifetime, or that's not going to happen in 10 years or 25 years. Don't let their bullshit ass opinions affect you. Don't let their opinions make you look like, wow, don't make their opinions allow you to doubt, okay? Don't. Because you need to be confident. You need to trust Yahweh Shema Shai. But he got injured and he came back better. When we sin, we got to come back better. We got to come back stronger. We got to come back more consistent. We got to come back with motivation. All right, we got to come back with goals set. Okay, yeah, I forgot it was Sabbath. I went off. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pray more. I'm gonna fast more. May make more videos. You may fellowship with Aki more, break more bread. We need to, whenever we get injured, whenever we're down on our knees, we need to stand back up and we need to move. All right, we need to push forward. Always need to keep pushing that plow. And there's other examples that you could use. I was thinking about using it before Spirit just jumped on me to get this. I was going to pull up a video of like an Olympic runner, like getting injured, like tearing their hamstring or breaking their leg or whatever, but they still finished the race. Okay? They may not came in first place and this and that, but they finished the race. Now, this is not a competition. You're not trying to do more videos than me. I'm not trying to do more videos than you. All right? We're building each other up. We're helping each other. This is a brotherhood. Okay? And the sisterhood for the sisters. This is a family, a real family, all right, in the spirit. Okay, we build each other up. We're running our own race, though. So if you tear your hamstring or whatever in that race, you crawl to the finish line, man. All right? You crawl. Don't make excuses. Don't doubt. You know, like the brother from GMS Des Moines video I just watched from him, he was talking about, you know, when you're running, you know, you get a cramp or, you know, you out of breath or whatever. He said, fuck all that. Exactly. Fuck all that. All right. Doesn't matter. You break your leg, you tear your hamstring, tear your ACL, you're out of breath, your diaphragm hurts, got a headache. Keep going. Okay. Because there is nothing, not a damn thing in this world that even comes remotely close to salvation. Okay. Not anything even remotely close. All right. Yahweh Shemel Shai chastise us to build us up. All right. Don't get chastised and give up. That's not what that's for, man. Yahweh Shemel Shai puts obstacles in our way so we can hurdle over them, not so we can trip on them. All right. And if you do trip, let's say you do trip, you start, you start doubting. Then what do? You get back up and you start running. Scriptures say a righteous man falls 7 times. How can you fall 7 times if you never get up the first goddamn time, man? That implies that this person fell that many times, man. But they got up. With 7, that's why I said that many times, because when it says 7, it doesn't literally mean only 7 times, or it's just a number, okay? But how can you fall 7 times if you don't get up the first fucking time, man? It's not possible. Which means what? That means that this person that they're describing, the righteous man that falls, every time he falls, he gets back up. He gets back up and he keeps going, which is what we have to do. All right, Akim and Akwakim, we have to keep going, okay? It doesn't matter if you're crawling, if you're bear crawling, all right? You're sprinting, you're jogging, you're walking. You have to move, because you might be walking, because like physically, when people get injured and they're running, they're not able to run anymore, so they might walk, they might limp, right? They might crawl. Whatever you have to do, get to that finish line. Keep doing the work. Keep having the faith, all right? Keep fasting, keep praying, keep studying and cross that finish line. You can't receive the reward unless you cross that finish line, all right? You tore your hamstring. Now what? You're just going to give up? You're just going to give up and you worked so hard. We've waited so long. You waited so long and worked so hard for this race and you're just going to give up? Okay, you tore your hamstring. So what if you don't get first place in that race? You can still finish it. All right? You can still finish it. Because in case you didn't know, for some of you, I don't know, for some reason I feel like somebody may not know that they time a lot of races. They do time. Everybody may know that, but just if you don't, they time races. And when do they stop the clock? When you cross the finish line. So if you never cross that finish line, when is the time stopping? It doesn't. It's not stopping. It's not going to stop because you didn't continue. All right? The clock is just forever running. And let's say this. Because what this is, we're running a race by ourselves. All right, we build each other up, we encourage each other, but we're running a race by ourselves. Let's say that you're by yourself. You're running a race. You're trying to finish this race by yourself. People are watching you, but you're running a race by yourself. And you're going to receive a first place anyways, right? Now, tell me this. If you tear your hamstring or you tear your ACL, whatever, you don't finish, how are you going to get first place? You're not going to get first place. Even if it takes you 8 hours for some reason to crawl, which it wouldn't take. I'm just being hyperbolic just to show you how important it is to keep going. Let's say it takes you, let's say you're running around the track once. All right, let's say for some reason it takes you 10 minutes. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, because you have to crawl or whatever, but as long as you keep going, I'm just trying to be hyperbolic, but as long as you keep going, you're going to receive first place. But if you never cross that finish line, even if you have to crawl, if you never go and cross that finish line, you're not going to get first place. You never finished. All right? So now let me get some scriptures. I don't know if it's falls or falleth. Or neither. Salakia. Man. There we go. This is Proverbs 24 and 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. So what does a just man do? He falls and he rises up. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. Right? And according to Romans, and other scriptures, but I'm going to get this one. Romans 3 and 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of Yahweh. So everybody sins. But what's the difference between the elect and well, I mean, these worldly people, they don't care at all. But I mean, what's the difference between somebody that's going to get beamed up and somebody that fell out the truth? Like, what's a major difference? The person that's going to get beamed up or the person that's going to be part of the elect, whenever they sin, they're going to get back up and they're going to keep going. I believe this is in Ecclesiasticus, if I'm not mistaken, which I very well could be. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 21, verse 1. My son, hast thou sinned? Do so no more, but ask pardon for thy former sins. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. Okay? So you messed up. You went off. You forgot it was Sabbath. You cooked. Now what? You pray for forgiveness. And you may fast, later in the week or, whenever the Spirit's on you. But what do? You keep going. Do you give up? Well, I sinned, so I'm just going to give up. No. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It shouldn't work like that, I should say. You sin, keep going. Okay? You see an obstacle, keep going. Period. Okay? Like I said, Yahushai puts obstacles in the path, on the track. All right? It's not meant for you to stumble and give up. It's meant for you to hurdle over it. Or it's meant to you, if you hurdle and it catches your foot and you fall, that you get up and you keep running, man. All right? It builds you up. It builds you up. Because next time you come across that obstacle, you're going to be able to hurdle over it. Or at least, even if you're never able to just straight up hurdle over it, you just always trip over it. As long as you get back up, you're building your mental strength, man. Because you know that in your mind, if I fall, if I make a mistake, I can learn from my mistakes. And I can keep going. All right? And you can keep going. And boxing, you want to bring out boxing. If somebody gets hit with a punch, they're just going to quit? No, they get hit with punches all the time. That's the whole sport. They keep getting hit with punches. But if they get knocked down, they just give up? No, they try to get up, man. They get up. They try to get up. They're supposed to get up. All right? They get hit, they get up. All right? And when they get up, what's different? Well, maybe they learned that this person likes throwing right hooks, or they like throwing left uppercuts. Maybe they like doing specific moves, specific combos. Now you know, all right? Now you know. Now you're ready this time. Now you block and you knock him out. He doesn't get up. You win. Would you have won? Or would you have been able to learn from your mistakes if you stay on the ground? If you stay on the floor? No, you wouldn't have. All right, you wouldn't have. We learn from our mistakes. We build off our mistakes. All right, we all fuck up, man. This flesh is weak. We fuck up, we make mistakes, but we have to get up and keep going. Okay, and keep going. In fact, Matthew 26 and 41, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So of course the spirit doesn't want to go off. All right? But the flesh is what causes us to go off. The flesh is what makes us weak. The flesh is what causes us to break and to forget things. Okay? Speaking, for myself or out for myself right now, saying this, I've forgotten before that it was Sabbath. There's times where I've forgotten I cooked. Sometimes I'm pretty sure there was a time that I forgot I cooked and I ate it and then I remembered. But what did I do? Did I give up? I'm not trying to sound proud or boastful. I'm just using myself as an example. Did I give up? No. All right. You pray, you fast, you do whatever you got to do, and you keep moving. In fact, instead of just moving at the same pace, you run faster. You give it more. All right. You learn from your mistakes. So maybe you forget. Maybe you forget it's Sabbath, and you cook. What are you going to do? You're going to learn from that mistake and be like, all right, I need to make sure that I know it's Sabbath. I need to make sure I set reminders to keep me always aware when it's Sabbath. To make sure that you're always meditating on Sabbath so it's always in your mind so you don't forget. Think about if it's Sabbath or not every time before you cook, or, every, occasional time, because Sabbath isn't every day, it's every specific amount of time, but you learn from it, all right? You learn from it. Okay, I know, I forget, I'm forgetful. The flesh makes me forgetful. I need to make sure I set reminders. I need to make sure I write it down. You fast, you pray for forgiveness, and you keep going, okay? You keep going. I don't remember because I'm going with the Spirit, I don't have anything planned out here. Other than that video, I got that, right before I did it. But I think there's something that Apostle Paul wrote regarding running a race. Oh, I see grace, but I don't see... Well, I get this. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'll start verse 11. But thou, O man of Yahweh, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith, and lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. All right, so we have to fight the good fight, man. And what happens in fights? All right, like I was talking about boxing. You may get hit. You may get knocked down. You may take some deep blows and you got to stumble back. But what do? You keep fighting. All right, you keep fighting and you don't stop until that bell rings. Okay, or in American football or basketball, you don't stop until that whistle blows. Okay, you give it everything you got every play. Okay, because this is all that matters. Yahweh B'Shemel Shai, His truth is all that matters. This truth is everything. This truth is life itself. Okay, if you've given everything you got on the football field, an American football field, you've given everything you got in a ring, if you've given everything you got in a basketball court or in the classroom or at your job, then why the hell can't you do it for this, man? Because this is what matters. All that shit is vanity. All that's folly. This is what matters. So if you want to give it all your best, and if you've never been known for giving things your best, now's the time to do it. All right, this is the thing that you need to be giving your best and giving all your strength to. Okay, period. And I need to take my own advice as well. Okay, now we have to be balanced between spirit and flesh, of course. But you have to give it your best. Okay, make sure you're doing consistent, keeping a consistent schedule. Maybe you're fasting once a week, twice a week, making videos every day of the week, or, certain amount of days of the week, going out every Saturday or Friday, whenever you go out, This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemed to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai does not put obstacles in our way to cause us to stumble on them and never give up, never get up. They're not put there to destroy you. All right, we're chastened, we're put through hell, that furnace of adversity, to continue, to be built up. All right, to be built up, to be made better. Okay, to be made better. It's basically like spiritual conditioning, man. You know how people they run a lot of laps, and get their conditioning up, their stamina. That's for us, man. Because if we're catching hell now, we're catching major hell, we're being built up. Jacob's trouble, we're going to basically be conditioned for it to an extent, okay? Along with the faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right, man. It's Ecclesiasticus. And also another thing is, when you make mistakes, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, of course, understands that it's a mistake, and that's where grace comes in, because Yahweh had his son Yahushai die on the cross. Yahushai went on the cross for us, specifically the elect. Lord willing, we're of the 144,000. Okay, the elect. They're not always looking at you like, you sinned. They're looking at now, okay, you sinned, but now what is he going to do? Because sometimes that's what matters the most. Okay? Okay, you forgot it's Sabbath, but what are you going to do now? Are you going to break down and give up? Are you just going to keep sinning? Or are you going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to better yourself so it doesn't happen again? That's what they're going to look at. Okay? It may be a test for you, man. There may be certain things that come in your life and it's a test to see what you do, what choices you make. All right? Because I'm not speaking for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, well, specifically Yahweh, but I feel like Yahweh, when we sin, we make mistakes because, we know for sure we make mistakes. We go off, constantly. We're all worthy of death, okay? And if you don't think you're worthy of death, then you're ridiculous, man. You're not in the spirit, okay? We got to be humble. We are all worthy of death. We got to be low, man, like lowly in the spirit. We have to understand that we're worthy of death. All right? All of us worthy of terrible deaths 1 billion times over again. All right? And sometimes they look at it, Yahweh may look at it as, okay, you sinned. You forgot that it was Sabbath, you cooked. But what are you going to do after? Because that might depend what happens to you, man. You may cry or you may feel extreme shame. You pray, you fast. That shows your sincerity, man. That shows that you didn't want to go off, and that proves that the flesh is weak. All right, so I'm going to close out with these. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure. Constantly endure. All right, constantly, not give up and then come back later. Constantly endure. Constantly keep running in that race, man. Constantly keep running. Even though you pulled your hamstring, keep going. All right, you may not be able to run, you may not be able to walk even, but crawl to the finish line. Then constantly endure. And make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient. That's heavy too. Be patient. All right, we have to be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay, so Lord willing, we're of the elect. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. Lord willing, we can endure, and Lord willing, we can stay focused. Okay, and concentrate, because stuff is happening, man. Hell can break loose very, very soon, man. Like realistically, it can break loose any day, but very soon, man. Okay, so you need to stay focused. You need to make sure that your sins are not holding you down. In fact, let me close out with this. You need to make sure that you keep running that race, man. You got to finish, right? And Lord willing, we can finish. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. There's the being tried as the gold in the fire again. All right. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide. And the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So don't let them weigh you down, man. All right? Don't let them weigh you down. Okay, yeah, you messed up. But now take a step in the right direction and go that way, man. All right? Keep pushing. Okay? Don't look at obstacles as you know, well, just, you know, pain and suffering, all right? Or depression or anxiety. Look at obstacles as something to improve yourself. That's prepping your body, that's prepping your mind, your spirit, that is preparing you, all right? That is training you, man. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying in the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who roll well. Peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom.